Live on the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Network. Our guest tonight, Jared Laws. Great game tonight. You guys win by double digits again in this Griffins Classic. You had 14 points, I believe, tonight. Just what went right tonight for you and your teammates tonight to close off this tournament?
I think, honestly, it's just for all of us, if we run through our sets and have patience, we can find open looks. And tonight I had a few that I could hit. And, next game it could be anyone else. It could be Tanner, Sam, all those guys. We can all shoot it, and we all have confidence in each other, to knock down the open shot. So really that's just all it's about. It's kind of Coach got on us a little bit today because, we kind of came out sluggish a little bit in the first half. But, second half he picked it up a little bit. So it was good to get the win.
You guys are playing 3 straight games and 3 straight nights, which is really unrare, usually back-to-back nights. Did this third night affect you at all as a player, maybe any other of your teammates, I should say?
Maybe a little bit, but the main thing is just getting rest. We're going home at night. For me personally, I try to get 8 hours of sleep every night, so that's always big. And, Sarah and the training staff, they always help us out, taking ice baths and getting all the necessary treatment, so that's always big for us as players.
You guys are going to head to St. George now. 3 big exhibition games you guys play here, all in front of a good fan base at Westminster. How much confidence do you guys take from these 3 wins heading to St. George?
It's big for us, for our confidence. It shows that the work we're putting in practice is paying off. We've been going hard, since we stepped on campus, really, with weights, practice, and everything. And, it's shown out on the court. And, next week you have a big test against some good opponents next week, so we're looking forward to it.
3 exhibition games like we talked about. You guys win double digits in all 3 games. Big confidence booster heading to St. George, where you guys are going to next. The next time you guys end up on this floor is in a couple of weeks. Just what do you guys have to do in St. George to come back home with 2 more victories under your belt?
I think just being a little more fluid on offense. We have a couple of defensive sets that I got a little confused in as well. So I think just getting more practice, getting the timing down on different sets, and communicating on defense is another big one for sure. Just those 2 things, and just playing hard. I feel like if you're playing hard, that'll take care of a lot of things. Different mistakes, we'll cover that if you're playing hard. So it's a big thing. Defense
tonight, you guys maybe a little bit more points than you guys would like to give up against a team in Bristol, but overall, what did you guys think? What was the mindset going into tonight, the defensive plan against these guys? Because they can shoot the 3.
Yeah. Well, we found that out tonight. They weren't really shooting it that high on the scouting report, so when they hit, I believe they hit 14 tonight. It might have been more. But
they were 7 for 11 in the first half, which is amazing.
Yeah, so that kind of caught us off guard. And we knew number 2 was their main player, and that was in our game plan to try and take him out. But we had other guys in their team that were really feeling it tonight. So kind of caught us off guard. But second half we tried to make some adjustments, and I feel like we did, and came out on top, so that's good.
So number 2, Crosby, was the man that had 25 points last night. You guys' scouting plan was to shut him down. So the main reason they were in the game, really, and especially in the first half, because they were 7 for 11 from deep. What was the second half game plan to shut those threes coming down? Because you guys did shut down Crosby the way you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. I think it was just kind of crawling up in them on defense. They were playing pretty comfortable out there in the first half. So in the second half, we just try to put a little more pressure on the ball, make them have to work for, to get in their sets and get good open looks. I mean, they had open looks and they did hit them, but, I feel like in the second half, there weren't as many open looks, where they could just, take their time and, have a wide open shot. So that was a big thing for us coming in the second half. And like I said earlier, playing with more intensity. So, yeah.
Final question to get you out here, because you do want those 8 hours of sleep. It's big, especially for any athlete out there. With tonight 3 straight games in a row, what did you like from the first 3 games, and what did you guys learn as a team in these 3 games?
Well, I just feel like we're really deep this year. We have a lot of guys. The starting 5, can really play, and our bench, everyone on our team can really come in and give good minutes. We've seen it in practice. Guys, we usually split up, 5 on 5, and guys are just going at it, competing, and it's it's guys just competing, and kind of threw me off guard. But
I understand.
We're really deep this year, so you just got to compete in practice, and it'll make the games easy, honestly. So.
Well, before anything else hits you, man, great game tonight. Our player of the game, Jared Laws. We'll be right back talking with the Coach's Corner next.
Appreciate it.
Salt Lake Regional Physical Therapy. We treat the team and all the fans. Here's a tip on how to get back to play.
Risk of shoulder injury can be reduced by strengthening the small muscles that stabilize the joint. To prevent shoulder injuries, the muscles of the rotator cuff need to be strengthened as they keep the ball and socket stable through an athletic activity like throwing a ball or reaching to catch a pass. Strengthening these foundation muscles is a good way to keep your shoulders healthy and keep you on the field. If you want more injury prevention techniques, then please contact us.
Welcome to the Coach's Corner post-game show. David Vito, Kyle Hodgins, assistant coaches for this Westminster Griffins team. We just got done talking with Jared, who had a really good game tonight. What was your thoughts of his performance tonight to help this team get a 10-point victory?
Jared is definitely one of our toughest guys. He plays great defense, and he always has hustle in him. And that's something we can count on from him night in and night out, so it's not surprising to have him come out and be our guy.
We talked to him about the 3 games and 3 nights, which is really unrare for any basketball team. Usually you have a good back-to-back night, but 3 straight games and all 3 exhibition games tonight. How do you think your team held up?
Again, it was a little bit of a mental toughness check tonight. We came out and we were a little bit lackadaisical. We didn't have that fire that we had last night, and I think that comes from you play 2 in a row and you're feeling a little bit good about yourself, and you come into a third night, and I think we kind of took our opponent for granted a little bit, and it kind of bit us.
Head coach Norm Parrish of this team, he must have been probably off guard too with the way this team, Bristol, came out shooting in the first half. 7 for 11 from beyond the arc. You guys weren't expecting that because you guys shut down Crosby, number 2, who scored 25 points and the night before. What did you guys have to do to make adjustments in the second half so the 3 balls didn't drop as many times for the other team in Bristol?
I think we just really needed to make sure that they felt us when we were challenging shots. In the first half, we weren't flying around quite as well, and they just didn't feel our presence when we were closing out to them. And I think in the first half, that really made them comfortable. And in the second half, you could kind of tell that as much as they didn't shoot as good a percentage, they still shot the ball well.
This is a team that 3 exhibition games you guys play. This doesn't go against you guys' record. It doesn't hurt or help, you can say, throughout the year. But mentally and just heading off to St. George for two games for a weekend, what does this 3 games do for your team?
Oh, wins are always. You look at your record and you say, hey, we're 3-0 right now. As much as they're exhibitions and
Gotcha.
They don't really count. In your mind, you started off on a winning track on the right foot, and you did the right things well enough to get some wins. And it's one of those things where when you start winning, it's a little bit easier to keep that winning trend going.
With the winning trend going the way it's going up right now on the chart, what do you guys got to do to continue winning and coming back here to be quote-unquote unbeaten when you guys next time you step on this floor at the Dumpke in the Bacon Fieldhouse, I should say?
I think we just need to continue to prepare well, and we need to continue to practice hard. Our guys practice really hard, and they prepare as well as they can, and we're really proud of the way that these guys are. They go out and they fight, and they scrap every single day to try and get better. And to be honest, we just need to be getting better every single day in order to remain, fairly winless or undefeated on this court.
Talking a lot of positives, what everything went right. What are some things you and the coaches saw that you definitely need to work on this group more heading throughout the season?
We struggled a little bit rebounding. As much as tonight we won the rebounding battle at the end, we were getting out-rebounded at half. We gave up several offensive rebounds. That's something that we definitely preach. Can't give up offensive rebounds. And then taking care of the ball. We had double-digit turnovers tonight, and to be honest, you just can't have that and continue to win.
I want to talk about one of the leading scorers from last year, Peyton. He kind of struggled in the first half, didn't really get going in the second half. What do you and the coaches tell Peyton when he's kind of having a rough night being one of the leaders of this team?
He's just got to stay in it mentally. He's got to know that we have faith in him. He's got to know that we trust his abilities, and that even if he's struggling, that we'll be behind him and with him, and that his teammates are behind him and with him to give him that lift.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach. We'll be right back to wrap up the rest of the game and talk about the Griffins road trip coming up next. We'll be right back after this.
Yeah.